welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another gadget report. We start another month, August, and today, this month, we will be talking about environment and sustainability in aviation. And we start with something that for me is very, very good news, which is Boeing and another company called Alder Fuels partner that are working together to expand the usage of SAF around the world and obviously reduce the carbon emissions in aviation. I think this sector has been doing a lot to reduce the emissions. It's long known that aviation has always been blamed for being one of the biggest polluters. Well, it is true that planes have a carbon footprint, they always had, but it's also been proved that they are not the biggest polluters ever, and the sector, the industry, have been working hard in order to reduce their emissions and become carbon zero as soon as possible. Lots of airlines have coming on board. Boeing is coming on board. Airbus has come on board as well. So I think we have everyone on board, and that's what amazes me is that the industry itself and the companies themselves are actually doing something. But let's talk gadgets. Let's talk sustainability in this first gadget report of August. So stick around. And let's talk gadgets. Let's talk SAF and let's talk aviation. As I said, today we are talking about this partnership that Boeing has with a company called Alder Fuels. That is with the aim of expanding the production of SAF around the world and testing and qualifying this Alder product to aviation. Alder is a plant, is a type of plant, and that's why the company has this name, and that's the main product used in the production of this SAF. It will be used from forestry residue from this SAF, and it will be transformed into a negative carbon green crude. I'm reading my notes because I'm reading directly from the Boeing press release. I will leave the link below so you can also read all the details about this project. This green crude will be then ready for jet fuel conversion. So this is a massive project. Is a good idea, great idea, and it shows again that aviation is doing their best to become greener and to reduce their carbon emissions. It says on the article that for example, Boeing, and this was a quote from the vice president, Boeing's vice president, Sheila Reams. They are aware that to achieve the zero carbon emissions by 2050, which is the aim of the industry, they know that they need 700 to 1,000 tons more of SAF than what they currently produce in order to meet this goal. And this is why they are now doing this and trying to expand this product, expand the use of SAF, and of course reducing the carbon emissions. Boeing being a plane manufacturer, this is a massive thing, since if the planes are already designed and produced prepared to use this type of fuel, this SAF, that means that airlines will buy these planes and will be able to meet their carbon emissions as well, because the planes are already prepared, they're ready to go, and there's no extra things to be made or to be done on the planes in order for them to comply with this requirement. So this is good, and I must say, and throughout this month I'll be talking about this, that both major plane manufacturers, that is Boeing and Airbus, are doing a great deal of work in order to develop sustainable fuel aviation SAF and working with greener industries, because it is paramount for both that this zero emissions target is met. So this is really important. It says on the article that this Alder product, it is a good is good for in sustainable for the conversion into SAF, and it means that it can be produced by existing refineries and with their current equipment. However, the company, that is Alder Fuels, is planning to open its first plant in 2024. So this is a major project that also will help the whole sector move forward and become greener. They say also in the article that with all this, they expect to get 75% reduction on the use of normal jet fuel, which is amazing. That is also the target for everyone. It's reducing. Airlines have become on board, and I've been talking about that both in my articles and also in our gadget report. And of course, it's always important, it's always good to know about these initiatives, and knowing that the industry is really working towards this target zero. I believe they will achieve that. I believe the industry is really working hard to do this. I believe airlines want to do it. I believe manufacturers want to do it, because obviously consumers are more and more demanding, and everyone is demanding that this happens. And of course, if you are an entrepreneur, and if you really you are running an airline, or if you are running a plane manufacturer, you also see this, because if your clients demand that you change, that you do something, as an entrepreneur, you really need to think ahead and do that and be ready to meet their demands. And I think that's what aviation is doing. I believe that's what aviation has been doing throughout the years. They always try to think ahead and get things done. That's why I love this sector so much as well. And this for me, it's truly a great thing that a little bit everywhere we have initiatives like this. I have already written an article about a similar thing in the UK. We have similar initiatives in Australia and in the US as well now. And this is a great thing, because Boeing is one of the major manufacturers, as you know. And if we get the manufacturers on board, that's what I said in the beginning of this video, if we get the manufacturers on board, and if planes are already designed to use SAF instead of normal jet fuel, I think that is a plus. And of course, if more of these plants, more of these refineries are built and more SAF is produced, it will also help reduce the costs and of course it will be cost effective. So I think this is a plus if we have more SAF production around the world, and if we have planes already designed and prepared to use this fuel. It is a way forward for aviation. I congratulate Boeing for doing this. As I said, I also congratulate Airbus, because Airbus has been working on similar projects as well, and I'll be talking about them throughout the month. And I think this is a great initiative. We all need more things like this to happen. We all need every country to come on board, all airlines to come on board. And if the manufacturers start this as well, it will be easier for airlines to come on board, because they are the ones who buy the planes, they are the ones who fly the planes. And if the planes already have this technology within them, that is a good thing, because that's the change. That's it, it's done. It's exactly the same that it will happen with cars. I believe more and more electric cars will come aboard, and people will start buying them. At the moment, in terms of cars, and I digress because we're not talking cars, we're talking gadgets, but I must do a little comparison. In regards to cars, I think governments also need to help here, because electric cars, unfortunately, are still very expensive, and sometimes they have a different tax load. And I think more need to be done in order to get more electric cars on the road and less fossil fuel cars on the road. That's what we need. So I think aviation is one step ahead on this regard, because everyone is on board. And I think that's the main thing, is that we have everyone on board. And in the case of aviation, I strongly believe that we have everyone on board. We have the two major manufacturers working with airlines to develop things that are greener and find ways to achieve the net zero. And this is what we need. This is a great example of an industry working for the good of the planet. And I think that's a good thing. And I love to talk about this. And that's all for today. I hope you really enjoyed this gadget report. I hope this has made you as happy as it made me. I must admit, I really love to write or talk about these type of initiatives, because I'm really committed to this. I really believe aviation is doing a great job, and I do believe that in the end we will get there. We will get to net zero, and I think what they're doing, it's really fantastic. I know Qantas is involved in a lot of projects. I know other airlines like KLM, like British Airways, plenty other airlines are really, really committed in this. And it's always good to see when the change sometimes does not need to be imposed by a government. It's the companies, it's the industries, it's the sector itself that do the change themselves. And really that's refreshing, because sometimes we live in a world where people not always like to do the right thing, and it's really nice to see when we have a sector that is trying to do the right thing and do the best for themselves. And let's be honest, I'm not saying in this that obviously Boeing or Airbus or Qantas or any other airline are not really trying to do good for themselves as well, because obviously they're running a business and they really need to be profitable and have a profitable business, which is very important. The thing is, they are trying to combine the two things, the environment and running their business profitably. And I think they are having a great success on this, because they're coming together. And I think that's the most important thing in this, is that if everyone comes together, everyone works together for a common goal, we will reach that goal faster and in a better way that will benefit everyone. And I think that's what is happening in aviation. That's at least my experience from all the articles I have read and all the videos I've seen and everything, this is what I think it's happening. It's really that they are really working in a way to turn this change profitable, obviously, because they still need to run their business. And the last 2 years, as you know, have not been the easiest ones for this sector. So I think it's another thing to add to this, is that it's been 2 very, very, very difficult years for the aviation industry, and they still going ahead with the change. They still planning this change, which I think sometimes a bad thing end up being a good thing. They had all these 2 years of absolute madness that could actually lead to this change. A lot of planes were grounded because they could not fly. There was all these sorts of disruption in this sector, and now it's the time. We have the planes on the ground. Now it's the time. We may need to change our fleets. We may need to do major changes in our company. So therefore, I think now it's the time. And I think that's what the airlines are doing. They were already doing this before the pandemic. That's a given, and we know that. But I think the fact that these 2 years of disruption affected the sector so much, they ended up taking a negative, transforming it into a positive, and let's speed up this transformation, let's speed up this change, and let's achieve the goal as soon as possible. And I think that's the thing that I have to take from this amazing initiative and what aviation industry is doing. Once again, I will leave the link below for the article so you can read all the details about this project. I did not spoke about the project in detail because it wouldn't be interesting just to be reading the article, because if it's to read the article, you can read it. You don't need me to read you the article. But I was just taking the idea and giving my own opinion. So the article will be down below. And of course, if you have an opinion about this, if you think it's a great idea that all the manufacturers and airlines are coming together to become greener, just share. If you have a different opinion, whatever that might be, leave a comment below. Let's share our opinions, because I think that's very, very positive for everyone. And put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification for a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.